Hello, and happy Facebook Live time. Happy Thursday. My name is Melissa Kerman of Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and lover of all things paper. Welcome to my 19th anniversary celebration part 2. This is the new me with the raspy voice. um, I have been a little bit sick all week, so I've got, a little sore throat, but pushing forward, here I am, have to celebrate this 19th year anniversary with you guys today. I was live last week, and here I am again. I've got some fun in store. I've got a gorgeous project, at least I think it's gorgeous, made with the Ranunculus Romance stamp set. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Crystal. And I'm going to announce the winner of last week's drawings. We had 2. I've got a prize for this week. I gave kind of a little hint at it a little bit earlier. I posted some pictures. I'm going to be sharing details about that. And of course, I got some announcements and business to cover. So anyway, so excited that you guys are here. I want to do a quick little shout out to my amazing, wonderful, fabulous team. I'm wearing my Treehouse Chicks team shirt tonight. I've been a demonstrator for 19 years, but I haven't had a team that whole time. I started really building my team maybe 5 years ago or more. And it's been just an amazing part of being a demonstrator. So I love my team. I love all the creativity that we share, the fun events we do. And so just a quick shout out to all of them because they're wonderful. All right, so let's jump right in. Again, I've got a project. Now, I have been a little bit sick this week. I'm probably just, I'm a little lightheaded. So I'm gonna apologize right up front if I'm a little bit more spacey than usual, or I forget things to the words or whatever. I'm just gonna do the best I can. I know you guys will be all good with it. Oh, I have an amazing crafting space, Joan. I am very lucky. I have this whole room. It's the attic of the 3rd floor of my house, which is my studio, my crafting space. And if you don't know, the name Melissa's Crafting Treehouse comes from the fact that I am on the 3rd floor. Big picture windows off to the side over here, and I look out into the trees, into a forest. It's beautiful, and I am truly blessed. Very, very grateful for that. So, okay, moving right along. Let's jump in. My anniversary was officially Monday, the 14th. That's when I started getting sick, in part because, well, we had my niece and her husband and 2 little kids here over the weekend. They are the cutest. So they're my great nieces and they are adorable. We did some crafting, guys. Oh, I have to show you. Hold on. So we played with soap and bubbles and paper, and we were just playing with little scraps of paper, but this was what I ended up making. So the 3 panels there, I can count, were made by blowing bubbles and then putting paper into the bubbles. It was really a lot of fun. And I did do some videotaping to do a TikTok to show my adorable nieces doing this fun activity with me. As soon as I'm feeling a little bit better, I'm gonna put that out on TikTok, and it's just so cute. They're the cutest things ever. Hi, Robin. Glad to see you here. So anyway, I digress. So it's my 19th year anniversary, and I'm doing some fun things to celebrate. Really just to thank all you guys, my customers, my followers, my team members, etc., anybody who wants to listen, for supporting me in doing this wonderful thing that I love, this paper crafting adventure. I have a pay what you want opportunity to purchase some of the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundles, 4 of them, and 4 of my technique class PDFs for a price that you pay. So I have gotten feedback that some of my class prices are a little bit high for some people. They can't afford them. I try to price my classes in commensurate with as much time that I put into it, because I put a lot of time in my classes. But I wanted to do this just to make those items, the PDF, the technique class PDFs, and the tutorial bundles available to people who might otherwise be able to do it. So take advantage. The specials go through next Tuesday, March 22nd. So that's one thing that I'm doing, and all those details are on my blog. So www.melissascraftingtreehouse.com. If you go to the blog, you'll see 2 recent blog posts. One about the pay what you want option, opportunities, and then also this week announced yesterday a BOGO sale. I have tons of retired products I don't have any time to use. I want to find good homes for them. So this week I'm doing a BOGO. It will also go through next Tuesday, the 22nd. So for every $30 in merchandise you spend in my online store using the host code, you'll get to pick a free item. So like I said, I have tons to choose from. And it's only, for each $30 you spend. And I have stamp sets, dies, punches, over 80 of them. And then I have bundles, which count as 2 items, and I have over 40 of them. So lots of wonderful, fun things to choose from. So take advantage. Let me find good homes for all these wonderful products that I can no longer use. And again, those details are on my website, my blog also. Alrighty. Let's see what else. Oh, so one of the things I want to remind you guys of is that we are approaching the time when we're going to be, things are going to be retiring, both from the annual catalog, that's live right now, and the 2022 in colors are also retiring. There's some of my favorite ones. I made bookmarks. I always make bookmarks. So this is an example of my bookmark that, I created 2 years ago, almost now. And I give them to my club members and I give them out as gifts. Well, I have a few extras and I would love to give these away. As part of my BOGO opportunity, for if you just spend one increment of 30, you can, all you have to do is email me after you do your order. Nobody has emailed me yet. They might have missed it in my newsletter. Hi, Andrea. So good to see you here. Let's see. So if you place an order of any, $30 or more, all you have to do is email me bookmark offer, okay, with the subject line, or have it in the email or whatever. I only have 2 to give away. So the first 2 people who do that will, in addition to getting the BOGO special, they'll get one of these. So don't miss out if you would like the bookmark. And so these colors are retiring, so it's a really good time to buy them too, right? If you really love them, these are a great set of colors. I especially love Marina Mist. I've fallen in love recently with Magenta Madness. That's the one at the top, and Just Jade. I mean, they're great colors. Anyway, so you want to get the cardstock and the ink and the ink pads and all the stuff before it's gone, because it's going to be gone for good. As of what is it? The end of April. I think the new catalog goes live at the beginning of May. I think probably May 3rd. I don't actually know, but it's right around that time. I should really know, shouldn't I? Anyway, crazy raspy voice. It's a little bit hard to talk, honestly. So I'm doing the best that I can. Okay, what next? So I've been talking about this for a while. Last week we did 2 projects made with the Waves of the Ocean collection. Just recently offered a stamp camp, and I have been busy, despite being sick, cutting and chopping and preparing and all the supplies around me. It's quite a production. So the PDF for the Stamp Camp to Go is still available, and if you buy it, it's an instant download. So you pay for it, you get it in the email receipt. So if you're interested in it, they're awesome projects. So now last week, these were the 2 projects that I made, and I posted them to my Facebook page as well. But I had not finished this one, so I wanted to share it for those of you who were here last week, because I was on the fence about the pebbles, and I did end up deciding to use the pebbles. See? I had to fuss with the placement a little bit, but anyway, so there's that. And then of course this one, I love these cards. So these are both made with the Waves of the Ocean Sweet Collection. The stamp set and dies are going to be in the annual catalog, the one coming in May. The consumables, the designer paper, and the rhinestones, and the foil are not going to be in the annual catalog. They're while supplies last, so just so you know. Oh, you love the pebbles, Robin? Yeah, fun to play with. I need to play with them more. There's just something that I really, you know, I have to fuss with in order to get comfortable with placement and everything. Alrighty, so we've got winners from last week. I'm going to announce those. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the prize for today, and then we're going to get on to the project. So to start with, yeah, okay, so let's do the prize from last week. I have two little medleys of retired product, designer paper, and whatnot. And you all told me what your favorite sources for creative ideas were and what some of the strangest sources were. And that was really fun to see all of your responses in last week's post. So anyway, one person's gonna win this little bundle. It's designer paper and embellishments. It's actually quite a lot of things in there, and then some cards in there as well. So the two winners, we do a drum roll on my basket, are, and let's see, oh yes, Elizabeth Gobler. And I don't know if I saw Elizabeth here, but she's often here, so hopefully she'll join in and she'll hear. And Deb Tilton. So congratulations to Deb and Elizabeth. I'll be sending those to you. And thank you to Sharon for sharing. Yes, I always forget to remind you, please, please, please share this post with your friends, whether you're on YouTube or here on Facebook. I always appreciate, oh, there you are, Elizabeth. Wonderful. Congratulations. You won one of the gifts from last week. All right, so this week's prize, and like I said, I gave a little hint on a post that I just posted earlier. I have created, now these have not ever been shared publicly, these cards, until today. They are made with, several people guessed it, the Grace's Garden bundle. It's a retired bundle, and these are the cards. These are, I love these cards. It almost kills me when I do a class and I don't ever share them publicly, because only the people that actually take the class get them. So now I'm finally making them public. Okay, so there's the last one. So the prize tonight is going to be basically the class that I did. So it is the Grace's Garden stamp set and the dies that go with it, and you're gonna get a lovely little kit with supplies to make 2 each. Pretty sure it's 2 each. I forget. Yes, I think it's 2 each of all 4 of those, what I think are gorgeous designs. That I love them. I love the Grace's Garden class. So, I want to give this to somebody who does not already have this bundle, right? Because who wants to get 2 of them? So the hashtag tonight is hashtag Grace Bundle. So if you do not have this bundle and you would like to win this class, comment hashtag Grace Bundle, okay? Now, I also have this kit without the bundle, and I'd like to give that away as well to anybody who has the bundle, okay? So I was sort of not sure I should do this because I thought it might be confusing, but I'm gonna give away both. So if you don't have the bundle, you're gonna do hashtag Grace Bundle if you want to win. And if you don't have the bundle, you're gonna say hashtag Grace Class Only, all right? I have it written down, at least the first one, and I'll put it on the screen in just a minute. All right, so that's what we're giving away today. All you need to do is comment, and if you share, you'll get entries. For those people that partake in my BOGO special, you will also get entered. So yeah, so those are all the different ways that you can enter. So make sure to comment and take advantage of my BOGO special in order to get entries. Shares will get, if you share today's post, you'll get 2 entries. Commenting with the hashtag gets you 1, and participating in the BOGO gets you 3, okay? So that's the way that the drawing entries are gonna go for the prize today. All right, I am going to move right along and get us on to making the project today. So let's turn me around. So I would love to know what you guys think of those projects, the Grace's Garden projects. And if you have them, I did post pictures today when I was sort of giving you a sneak peek. This one, of course, is this kind. I forget what it's called. I don't think it's quite maybe it's a diorama. I don't know. But you get a sort of peek in there. Anyway, so these are on my website. So if you have the bundle and you want to get pictures, they're of course, on my Facebook page today. All right. All righty. Okay, so I have written here #GraceBundle. So that's if you do not have the bundle, and then I have to handwrite this in because I didn't plan that. That was impromptu. #Grace class only. So that's just the kit. You already have the bundle if you're going to use that hashtag. Alrighty. Moving right along. Okay, so the project today, let me show you. This might look familiar because I shared something similar for my recent Color Fusers blog hub. I had to make several different versions, and so what we're going to do is one of my other versions. So this is the card we're making today, and I do have some slight variations that I might be playing with as we go, because you guys know I like to do that, right? I like to get your opinions on things and whatnot. So the Ranunculus Romance set is right here. And I'm also going to be using this little Specs image from the Forever Fern set, just for some fill. Who else has the Ranunculus Romance set? And it also has a set of dies. Oh, you took the class, Robin? Yes. And these are the dies that go with it. I've used a couple of the dies in one of my variations for today, just for fun, to see if we like that. All right. So I'm going to try to keep this hashtag in the screen. And again, if you take advantage of the BOGO, you do need to use the host code unless your order is over 150. And in that case, you'll still get the BOGO benefits, but you'll also get host rewards. So there you go. All right, so what I'm going to start with is I've got my main image here set up on my Stamparatus, and I've done this because this image is really quite delicate, and I tried to heat emboss it, and it's so delicate that the heat embossing kind of ruins that beautiful image. It just makes it too chunky. You lose a lot of the detail, but sometimes it's so light that I want to make sure I get a nice crisp image. So by putting it on my Stamparatus, if it's not dark enough the first time, then I can stamp again to get it darker. So there's my white piece. I've got my, my magnets. I have washi tape on them, and that just makes them a little bit less magnetic. So these don't go crashing into one another and break. And I also have little handles on them, so that just helps me keep them under control. Okay, so let's grab my StazOn ink. Now what I'm doing here is creating a collage. So I like to talk just a little bit about building a collage, and this is just my perspective on it all. So when you're building a collage, I like to sort of choose my main image, the main one that I want to stand out the most. And typically I'm only going to stamp one of those. And then the other images I might stamp a few of. Let's see if that turned out dark enough. Actually, that turned out plenty dark the first time around. Now I'm doing jet black StazOn, which means, you know, I won't be able to color it in with blends or anything, and that's okay. Okay, I'm just going to take it off the Stamparatus now. I don't need the Stamparatus anymore. And then I'm just gonna start building my images around the main image. So most of the time, I like to do sets of 3, so either or 5, an odd number. This foliage image, which is one of my other favorite images in this set, I will probably do about 5 of them. And I like to kind of surround my focal piece with this lovely other plant matter. And I'm going to do some first and second inking as well. So I got 2 with first inking, and then I'm going to come in with second inking. And then I even got a third one over here. And so I'm really kind of, I don't know, framing the flower is how I'm visualizing it. Now, each of these images has a sort of different visual weight. So the thickness of the lines affect its visual weight, the size. So like this one has more visual weight because it's sort of thick black lines. This one has more visual weight. Same with this, especially the sharing. But this one's really delicate, so that means I could probably use it a little bit more without it overshadowing the others. And when I do a collage, I really want that sort of pleasant balance, if you will, of visual weight in the images. So the balance in placement, the balance in in the heaviness of each of the images, to sort of help determine where your eye goes, what your eye pays attention to. So that one actually has, you know, kind of pretty heavy visual weight, but it's small and subtle, so I'm good with that. And then I've got my little Eiffel Tower, and for these I'm just doing 1 of each. So again, I'm going with the odd numbers, and I'm going to do a little bit more of my other floral image. Now I want to do this next one stamped off, but I inked it up and stamped it off on the paper just so I wouldn't end up with some weird strange line on there. All right, I think that's enough. Now I'm going to come in with this whatever scripty image. Not sure exactly what that is. And I'm going to do that in a few places. Kind of fill in this open space right here on the left. Yeah, and you want to make sure with an image like this it's right side up, because sometimes it's hard to tell. Oh, I'm glad you like the way I'm stamping it, Sharon. Thank you. Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to do another one of these little delicate images. Now, I also want to kind of balance where I put it, right? So I don't want to put it straight across from it. It's like you're creating a little bit of a organized chaos, I guess. And then I'm going to do another one right up here. So I want to do them in different amounts and different positions. So here I did it kind of longer off the page, a little bit more, a little bit less, just to kind of mix it up. Now I am going to do a little bit of this very heavy image, but again, I'm not going to do very much of it. So on this one, I just did a little bit at the bottom. You can see it sort of grounds the whole thing by using something dark at the bottom. And then I've got a little bit over here on the right. And then I did a stamped off bit up there on the left. So I think I'll do about that same basic thing. And this image to me sort of reminds me of, I don't know, like a fence or something. So it felt right to have it at the bottom. It is very heavy, which is why when I did it at the top, and I'm going to do the same thing, I stamped off because I don't want it to show up too much. I want it to be subtle. So I got a little bit of that up at the top. All right. I think we'll stop there. So I got 3 of this heavy image, even though it's some full ink and some second ink. And I think that's all of the images. So now I'm gonna start adding some color. And each of these is gonna turn out different. So, you know, kind of based upon the color balance. So I've got a couple of my blending brushes. And I'm gonna start with my yellow. I'm using crushed curry here. Hi, Chris. Good to see you here. All right, so with using my blending brushes, I always want to kind of test the color on the paper so I don't end up with a big old splotch, and gives me a little bit more control. And I'm really just coloring over the areas that I want to be yellow. Obviously, not exactly coloring in. It's a very, you know, quick and dirty way of quote unquote coloring in. All right, I'm going to leave that for now. And then I'm going to come in with some of my green. I used both Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent. I'm going to start with my paler green to start with. These are in colors, but these are in colors that are around until 2023, which is wonderful because I do love these colors. So now again, I'm kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking of this as kind of coloring in the foliage in a broad brush kind of way. So I'm going over the foliage and more. Now, this image here, it's kind of flowers, but in my mind, it also sort of is like foliage. So some of them I do in green and some of them I do in the yellow, really just so that I can bring in more color into the mix. I'm just going to start with a little bit of this soft succulent and then fine tune from there. So I'll set that aside for now. And now I'm going to do some of my darker green. Now I generally like to do the darker closer to the edge. Gives me a little bit of framing. And then a little bit more contrast, right? So if I have some dark and some light, kind of fades. Okay, I'm leaving a little bit room because I'm going to be doing some of my gray granite next. I'm going to bring in some of this neutral, partly because I want it to have a bit of an antiqued look. This stamp set really just feels sort of vintagey to me. So now I'm kind of just doing sort of more towards the middle with this gray granite. And at this stage, I'm kind of doing the fine tuning. Okay. This is one of those things you just play with for a while. Now, I've sort of ended up with a bit of a hard line there. I don't really like the way that looks. So I'm going to come back in with some of my yellow, kind of blur that line a little bit, bring in a little bit more of the bright yellow color. It's almost like a spotlight. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. Although I do want to do a little bit more of my dark green along the edges. So that's the evening evergreen. So let's get some nice dark color on the edge. See that nice dark green on the corner? Just love that deep green. Sort of adds this drama to the whole thing. So I'm staying close to the edge so the lighter green remains and fades into the center. All right, so there's where we are now. Close up my inks. Now, I think getting some of that excess color off because I want to blur some of this brown and next to the yellow. Bring in just a touch more of the green. Okay. Getting these inks out of the way. Now, just as point of comparison, this is where we are now. My image here is quite a bit darker. The black ended up being much darker. It's part of why I put it on the Stamparatus, but I ended up having enough ink on there. This one was a little bit more faded. So just as a point of comparison at this stage. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my embossing buddy because I'm going to do a little bit of heat embossing. And when you add ink to a surface like this, it doesn't feel or look wet, but it can be. And your embossing powder can stick in all kinds of places where you don't intend it to. So it's very important at this stage, especially with all that ink on the surface, to use your embossing buddy. And I'm just patting it on there so that I get some good coverage. Let's fold that over so we end up with a nice white background. All right, so now I'm going to grab this little image from Forever Fern and my Versamark pad. And I'm going to add some, well, let's do this first. I want to add a few touches of Versamark and gold along the edges. So I'm going to just rub my Versamark pad against the edges. And of course, you know, this is a clear ink, so I'm just kind of randomly putting it on there and hoping I like the result. And then I'm going to come in with my specks and add those in as well. Okay, let's see what we got there. I grab my gold embossing powder. And see where those specks and edges got the gold on them. Okay. Now, if there was any spot that it seemed like there was too much, I could rub it off with my finger. I'm kind of liking the way that looks. I got some subtle bits of the gold along the edges and some nice specks here and there. So we're going to go with it. I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. Okay, let's Put that back in there. And I'm just going to hold this. See if we can hold it so you guys can see the lovely gold transform. I love watching heat embossing when it melts. I love how the gold accents give it that much more of a vintagey kind of look. And I especially like the gold with the yellow. It's very warm. Okay, let's see if I got it all. Yep, I think I got it all. So there's what we got so far. And I think I might need just a tiny bit more. This is kind of looking a little bit too naked. Doesn't need much, but just the tiniest little touch right in there. Let's see how that looks. It's like I don't want it 100% framed, but I do want a little bit on there. I don't think I touched it enough. Dang it. Can't rub it against if it's got powder on it, so let's try that again. It was too delicate. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, another quick heating. I'm glad you like it, PJ. Or Pam, I should say. Let's see. Yeah, so there we go. So far. All right, let's do a little bit of assembly here. And then we're going to try a little something else and see which direction we want to go. I'm going to ask you guys to help me. So we've got a black card base, and I've got a piece of Evening Evergreen. It's got adhesive on the back. You never would have thought to combine all those stamps. Oh, I'm glad you love it. So now just, so you know, when I do something like a collage stamped kind of thing, I usually play around on my scrap paper. I don't just usually go straight to a piece of white cardstock, and oftentimes I'll stamp several different configurations to kind of get a sense for if I like it. So, it's not like I pull out the stamp and just immediately know exactly where to put stuff. All right, so now I've got a piece of black, and my black has dimensionals on the back. I am going to go ahead and attach that looks like the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and take my black. Again, dimensionals, the backings are removed, and I'm just centering it on here. And again, this Evening Evergreen has such an elegant, vintagey kind of look that it just seems so perfect for this. And my other versions all use these same greens. Okay. Now we got some white glue for the front. And we'll just slide that on there. Nice, delicate little black edge there. Again, add to the drama of it all. So now we're pretty much done or close to where my original was. But I'm going to put a piece on the inside. Got a piece of white for the inside. We're going to dress that up just a little bit. I've taken one of the stamps from the set, die cut it, and then colored it in. So I'm going to use that on the inside. Oh, I'm glad you now see Evening Evergreen in a way that you might like it, Robin. Let's see how I want that. I think we'll just put it right there. That's going to be my nice little decoration for the inside. It's a die cut piece, a little bit different from how I did the other ones. So this one I actually stamped right in there and I colored it. And that one, of course, is die cut. Some of the other ones I didn't even color on the inside. I just stamped that image. I'll show you that in a minute. Excuse me. Now I wanted to show you one other thing. Now, if you wanted to be able to color your image with Blend's alcohol markers, you would have to use Memento ink, and I always prefer, almost always, if I can, prefer StazOn to Memento, and here's the reason why. So I stamped these two images, one in Memento and one in the StazOn. This one's also die cut, but that's, and can you see kind of the difference? The Memento sort of tends to bleed out a little bit. It doesn't have the crispness, both in how dark it is, as well as how the ink takes to the paper as the StazOn. So I much prefer the StazOn. Yes, I do have an upper respiratory infection. Jan, yes, I'm very raspy today. I've been fighting something all week long. But yes, working with it. So anyway, so yeah, you can see this one is the Memento, that's the StazOn, and I so much prefer that crisp color. So on this one, I used a combination of So Saffron and Bumblebee ink to color that in. I don't actually have a crushed curry marker, so I wasn't able to use that, but the two of these look really nice, and the fun thing is, right, when you use blends, you can get different tones of color, right? But I still did that with this one by using the light yellow and the dark yellow, the So Saffron and the Bumblebee. Bumblebee is one of the colors that's retiring, by the way, just so you know. All right, so I colored this in, and I thought we would play with seeing about putting another element on the front. We still have some of the brass butterflies to put on too. So I've die cut a couple of the pieces from this set of dies. See, that this is the set that coordinates with Ranunculus Romance, but they're called Ranunculus dies. To play with around this shape. So now I could put that right on there, but I don't know about you guys, but it's so stark white. It's a little bit too stark white for my taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften it a little bit by adding a little bit of the the soft succulent. And I might not even need it to add any to my brush, because I probably still have some residual on there. And I really just want it to be subtle. I've got glue dots on the back of this, so I can't put it on my paper. Oh, you know what? I have a better idea. I'm going to use the gray granite instead. I think that might be a little bit more of a subtle background. Just want to soften that white a little bit. Let's see how that does. Makes it look kind of dirty. That's okay, though. It's supposed to look vintagey, right? Maybe I'll do a little bit of the green, too, at the bottom. The green looks right at the bottom to me, and the gray granite looks a little bit better at the top. Okay, so I got that a little bit softened. Just don't want to see that stark white in there. It just doesn't really go to me. All right, so let's get back to this and see what we think. So what I had in mind was to take some of these little elements here and put them in behind my flower, and then just pop this up. Let's see what we think as an alternative. Okay, now it's you guys' turn. Tag, you're it. What do you think? Should I add that element to the top, or should I just leave it the way it is? If I do, I'm waiting for your comments. I'm just going to trim off a little bit whatever's sticking out, like that rogue soft succulent piece and my green at the bottom, that evergreen piece. I think it kind of works. I think it just kind of dresses it up a little bit. So I'm not seeing anybody commenting, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But I am going to add a few more glue dots to the back. So one thing I didn't mention is if you are going to use the hashtag, so the 2 hashtags, that if you don't have the bundle and want it, and that if you're going to do the class only, if you're interested in the class only kit, I will draw a winner before the next Facebook Live that I do. So we'll wait until the BOGO sale is over, which is on the 22nd. So people who partake in that will get entries into the drawing. Let's see what else. Adding a few more glue dots in there. I just want to make sure that it all stays down. I'm tacking down my foliage in the back as well to kind of help keep that down. So it'll hold it down to the paper and it will hold the foliage to the back of the piece. So let's just go ahead and add that on there. So I have really 2 layers of the dimensionals, I'm sorry, of the glue dots. But the idea is it pops it up just a little bit. And now let's just go ahead and add some brushed brass butterflies. I love these. I think these are just so pretty. And the other thing that's really nice about them is that they're flat, so they don't stick up a lot. It would look more vintage if I cover the white. Is it still too white? It is kind of white, isn't it? Excuse me. I might have to fine tune that. Because I agree. Let's see. I'm looking for my little tool here. Just a little. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I agree. I'm going to have to figure out the best way to do it because now that it's attached. But, I'll mess with it. Anyway, so I'm going to grab some of these brass butterflies and find a few spots for them. And I'm just going to put them where I put them last time because I like the way it was last time. So here we go. One right in there. And one up in here. This is another thing that I will fuss with a lot is like, where do I want to put these little embellishments? I want it to have balance, and I usually am thinking in terms of like a triangle. I'm going to do a big one for the last one. It's got a nice little spot, that little open spot right there. This is looking a little crowded. I do want it to stand out. Have its own space. Yeah, I think that works. Alrighty, so there we go. I do need to soften that white. I don't know, the original is just, you know, in my mind it's perfect. So, but you know, I can't help myself but mess with it, because I like to see different alternatives, right? Just keeps things interesting. I'm trying to get a little bit more of that gray granite in there to soften the white. You know, it would have been good is if I could have, well, I don't know if that would have worked. I was thinking I could have stamped that onto the soft succulent, but then I wouldn't really be able to have colored the yellow on there, so that'd be tricky. But I could have done it on gray granite. That would have probably worked because I probably could have colored the yellow on. Anyway, 20/20 hindsight. There they are. I hope you like them. Okay, so let's show you my other versions. And for those of you who didn't see my Color Fusers Blog Hop project, this was the original one that I did, because the color scheme here, of course, is Soft Succulent Evening Evergreen, and this is, what is it? Darn. What is it called? Rich Razzleberry. Ah, yeah, there's my colors in here. My little cheat sheet. So Rich Razzleberry is the color of the flowers, and it's just super soft and pretty, right? Very vintagey. And then, of course, I played with the yellows. And then the last one is this one, which turned out really different. Excuse me. So for this one, of course, I colored in with Magenta Madness on this one. And Pacific Point in the background. I used a little bit of the gray granite and some of the Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. And I colored the leaves in with those two colors as well, with markers, since I wanted to use the StazOn. So this is sort of more brilliant and really stands out quite a bit. And these are just softer and a little bit more vintagey. But, you know, all just kind of different and fun variations on the themes. So this is on my Color Fusers blog post that was on March 7th. And these ones I'll be putting in a new post that will go live on Saturday. So just in a couple of days. So I am going to turn the camera around and we'll finish up. Did everybody get that hashtag before I took it away? Commenting. Let's see. You love the colors on the bluish card? Oh, the bright one. Do you mean this one, Elizabeth? I have to fix the camera here. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah. It's very bright. I know. You could tell I'm sick. Not my favorite way to celebrate my anniversary week. But, you know, that's life, right? I have not been sick in 2 years because I haven't been going anywhere. I haven't been exposed to anybody, you know? So it's so strange to be sick, right? You know, since pre-COVID. But anyway, it was worth it seeing my nieces this weekend, or my great nieces. They're so adorable. So watch for my TikTok. It's so cute. At one point, they, by accident, sucked up the soap. And it was very funny. I mean, they didn't think it was funny, but it was funny to watch. So anyway, okay, just a couple little reminders. So then my 19-year anniversary special goes through next Tuesday, March 22nd. Make sure to check out the Pay What You Want PDFs and tutorial bundles that you can buy. And like I said, you get to choose what your price is. There is a floor, but it's a pretty low base floor price. And if you're interested in the Waves of the Ocean Stamp Camp PDF, that's available as well. I will put it in the description of this video and also in the YouTube description. If that's something you're interested in, you'll be able to click right on that link, and it tells you right about the contents in the description of the item, so you'll be able to see that. So again, to get prize entries for the, let me grab it. The Grace's Garden bundle and the class kit that goes with it, you'll use the hashtag Grace Bundle. And if you are interested in just the kit because you already have the bundle, use the hashtag Grace Class Only. And if you comment here, you'll get one entry. If you comment here, if you participate in the if you share this video, you'll get 2 entries for sharing. And if you participate in the BOGO sale, you'll get 3 entries. So that's how that's going to go. And I will announce that at my next Facebook Live. And you have again till March 22nd to get entries. So I think that's it. Now I'm going to go to sleep, okay? Thank you for the healing thoughts, Linda. I'm really doing so much better today than I have been the last few days. It's been an interesting few days. And I'm still just plugging forward, just trying to rest and whatever. But I'm good. I'm doing good. I'll have more of a voice next time I come back. So next time I'm back is March 31st. That's the plan, with another paper crafting project. Otherwise, I'll see you in my newsletter, my weekly newsletter, and yeah, and posting in my blog. Go check out my website, my blog, and all the projects I share there. So, and thank you for the well wishes, everybody. Yes, I will feel better soon, I know. I'm going to sleep well tonight. All right, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye.